Hi, I'm Beau.
And I am Don.
And we're not very sure of ourselves, but you know what we are sure of? That Dragon Age was a great game.
You can tell because we're talking about it, and we only talk about good games. We're totally not just digging into our ancient past for games we've actually played. We're very in touch with the youth of today.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about this. BioWare had just hit a home run with Mass Effect.
Yeah.
They could do no wrong, and they decided to make a spiritual successor to one of their most successful games, Baldur's Gate 2.
Oh, yeah.
And they made Dragon Age, and they really did a great job.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic game. We did a podcast of Dragon Age already back when we had a blue mic, and we would swivel this chair.
Now that's just lost to history.
Yeah. So this is our second attempt at doing a Dragon Age.
Yeah, well, we marched into heaven and we were cast down.
As the chantry tells us.
Yeah.
So Dragon Age is the story of a really, really, really piss poor communicator named Duncan. Recruiting members into his ancient order of demon extermination squads, and then he dies, and then you become the new leader of this. And you know what? Is it really the Darkspawn you killed, or is it the friends you made along the way? You know,
It depends, I guess.
So Dragon Age said they wanted to make a George R.R. Martin type universe, which they failed at. Mostly because a George R.R. Martin style universe would not make a very good video game.
Thought you were gonna say would not end.
Would not. It won't do that either.
No.
So
gotta write wild cards.
He has an NFL blog to keep up. I'm actually not a Game of Thrones fan. It doesn't bother me that he's not finishing it.
Well, Stannis is still alive, as far as I'm concerned.
I know that a lot of our listeners probably are, so I'm sorry. But he pretty much has flat out told you he's never finishing those novels. So
yeah,
maybe just listen to him.
I've come to terms with a lot over the last few years. That's one of them.
But it is a very cool universe still.
Yeah.
Magic comes from the dream world, which you weren't supposed to go to because it was heaven. Shades of the Warp, actually.
Yeah, or the Force.
Or the Force.
Which has a dark side that can corrupt you.
And when that happened, the city of heaven became a hellhole.
And you can see it from anywhere in your dreams, which is terrifying to think about.
Absolutely. And these things called the Darkspawn flow from it and somehow get to our world.
Yeah, usually through underground. Underground.
Using the deep roads that the dwarves dug.
They dug too greedily and too deep and very well. Look, they had some solid construction. Those bridges, they've held up.
Union men.
Mothman he's tried, but that bridge ain't going down.
And this is kind of the world you come up. And now, because of this, the Chantry, which is the church, doesn't really trust the mages. They keep a death squad outside the one tower they're allowed to learn in.
Yeah. Well, they have several institutions, but generally it's going to be one tower per country.
And it's a good time. It's a good time.
I like mages. Like there is I understand the conflict they were going for in 2. They just didn't realize it at all. But yeah, I mean, like it's the same thing with Warhammer 40K. Like there's psychics running around. Hey, wizards are real. That's neat. And then next thing you know, they're demons, and that's a problem.
Right.
Regulations are necessary, and they're in place for a reason.
Absolutely. I actually like the Inquisitors in this game. I think they have a solid head on their shoulders. But what's unique about this game is when you pick your race, you're not just picking your stats, you're picking your starter story
And lifestyle.
And this will affect you for the rest of the game. Mm-hmm. And there's a variety of them, mostly based on race, but class affects it every once in a while. Mm-hmm. Most notably when you select mage. Dwarves cannot perform magic.
Yeah.
So you are limited to elf or human. And the origin will be the same for either one. If you pick an elf of any other class, you get to be a Dalish elf, which is a proud warrior elf that still adheres to your primitive culture, and you're not giving in to the man. Or you can be a city elf, which is a really, really, really. There's a class and race struggle there.
I'd like some more.
Yeah. You live in a literal ghetto, like Elf Town. And there's a really weird moment where a guy, human noble is the other human selection, where you're a human sitting in the cusp of luxury, and dwarf, of course, has dwarf noble or dwarf commoner.
Mm-hmm.
Dwarf noble, I don't remember it. I just remember it being the best one.
Oh yeah. You can like your brother Balin is really cool. Your oldest brother, the heir apparent, is kind of an ass, and then Balin manipulates you into not killing him. He kills him and then he pins you for it.
Yeah.
And along the way, you can also sire a bastard, because apparently there's like one of the only ways to advance socially in dwarf culture for a common dwarf woman is to marry a noble dwarf, or at least get a bastard by him, which puts you in the running for the nobility.
So that you select your origin and you go into it. I don't think we're going to be able to cover them all.
Oh, probably not. No. I'm an ambitious man. I'm a realist.
We will cover what we feel are the most interesting, and also the ones that we remember the most.
What we feel, our feelings are more valid than yours in this case.
I feel my feelings. I don't feel anyone
You're
else's.
in the back seat here.
They,
you
know
can
what?
Yell all you want, but at the end of the day, you'll just be yelling at a computer.
When you downloaded the podcast, you told us to drive.
That was a binding agreement.
And so you could say you want McDonald's, but I'm driving to Dairy Queen. It costs a bit more and you wait a bit more, but it tastes better. I'm sorry. You want to do one, or you want me to do one? Or?
I want Dairy Queen now.
I want Dairy
But if you want to do one.
So Human Noble.
Okay.
Human Noble is pretty cool.
I've never... a fantasy world where you play as a human noble.
Very unique.
Yeah.
Very unique. The BioWare comes spurring out of the chutes on this one.
Out of nowhere. Blazing trails.
So a Human Noble... you start off and you're like sneaking around watching your dad meet with this guy.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
And
I mean, that's what Zelda does.
Yeah, Zelda, and she drags Link into it after he
like, hey, check out this.
And he looks right at you.
Yep,
sees right in your soul. But anyway, your dad's meeting with this noble, and your dad, everything's so good in your life.
Yeah.
Everything. And this noble has come to visit you, and he's like, haha, I'm here to talk about the campaign against the Darkspawn. Your brother is setting out on it. Everything. You know what? It's just, life's funny sometimes. And
I really look forward to that wedding at the Twins.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, this is probably the most shades of George R.R. Martin they get in this game. And you meet his family. His family came to visit too.
Oh, that's nice.
The girl's sweet on you.
We never get to see them.
Your dog messed up something in the kitchen. You go and fetch your dog. And life's just good, man. And you go to bed. And you wake and you get woken up. Apparently, this guy crawfished on your dad.
Oh.
And everyone's dying. Everyone's dying.
God damn it.
Your dad's dying. Your brother's family is already dead.
Shit.
Your brother left on the campaign.
Well, fuck me.
So he doesn't know. And you got to fight your way out. And and your family's like, you have to live. And there was this weird guy named Duncan that was there to like test you for something, but your parents were like, no. Anyway, Duncan finds you. Your mom's like, Duncan, you got to get him out of here. Duncan gets you out of there. And
yeah, and Duncan,
the road.
Yeah, he doesn't take you for free though. There's something expected of you.
Oh, absolutely. But you don't find out about that until you come to the King's camp.
Yeah, he doesn't tell you.
The King's campaign against the Darkspawn. It's not where your brother's campaigning against the Darkspawn, though.
No.
He's obviously somewhere else. I'm more tired.
It is, in fact, midnight. The witching hour is upon us. And, well, Duncan, he's an asshole. I hate Duncan.
Duncan is an asshole.
You know, I've got I don't know if you listen to our podcast about Skyrim. I literally stopped doing a quest because they demanded I drink blood, and fuck you. I don't drink blood, but he wants you. He demands.
There's no way
blood.
to advance the game without doing it.
You need to drink blood, not just any blood. O positive, Darkspawn blood. Universal donor. The Darkspawn had a little bit more characterization along the lines of bandits and Mad Max. Yeah, that would be great. But the King's campaign, King's a bit of a douche. Let's just get it out there.
He's a bit of a fanboy. He's a bit of
okay. I'm sorry. I that's coming from a dark place. The King's fine. The King's cool. I look forward to many happy adventures with him. And Taron Logain, I like Logain. I like hanging out around him.
Reasonable man.
Yeah, very reasonable. He's got dark hair. I can respect.
See, what's
going to
happen though is you're going to team up with these people from France.
Oh,
that's put the hurt on you earlier, and he doesn't want to team up with them.
Yeah, I mean, they did occupy us militarily, and we fought a bloody war to get them out. Now we're inviting him back in because we can't handle some Darkspawn. We haven't even seen a goddamn demon. Archdemon. Like, the King is even put out. I was expecting something like the Tales. I haven't seen an archdemon.
And Taron Logain's daughter is betrothed to the King, or married.
Yeah,
married.
She's very cool, but she's not at the camp. She's behind the lines where she should be. Where the smart people are hanging out.
Right.
Anyway, Duncan says, "Hey, you need to go out and get some blood." Why? I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Did I take you? I'm sorry. Who was it saved your life? Okay, I'll go get some blood. You're going to go out with these other guys because you're going to join the Grey Wardens. I'm like a noble. I should really keep myself in line for the throne if something happens to my brother. Nope, join the Grey Wardens.
Yep.
You will not reject this honor, Grimaldus. We still have not gotten Warhammer 40k out of our heads. So you have to okay, so this blood initiation, everyone needs to go on a scavenger hunt for blood. At least that's how your partners kind of treat it at first.
Right.
Oh, so this is just a thing that happens. We go hunting for blood. Usually you get a police report doing this, but we managed to do it. And hey, you meet Morgan. Dressed for the occasion as always.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure her outfit is functional in some way. I'm sure on some planet your wardrobe is quite effective. Your weak link is, oh fuck, what is this planet?
2009 was a really weird year.
Scraps over breasts was really in vogue during 2009.
I'm not sure why.
The Great Recession hit us hard. I mean, I prefer the barrel look on my women. Just strapped with a barrel strapped over it. Oh my God. BioWare, make another game where Morgan wears a barrel. And make everyone react to it as if it's the hottest and most distracting thing imaginable.
So,
anyway, she says, "You're here for these sacred texts, aren't you? Well, my mother has them. Here they are." Bye.
So, you get your blood. You
get
have
your
these
books.
sacred texts you absolutely weren't looking for.
You're ready. You're ready for Saturday is coming, and you're bringing the pain.
So you go back to Duncan. You're like, Duncan, I found this stuff, and he's like, good, drink it.
No, I'm gonna butt chug it.
And
make sure it gets in there.
Now, hang on. This guy, I can't remember. Does he reject it, and Duncan kills him for
Yeah,
rejecting
he
it?
rejects it.
He's like, I flat out won't do it.
And then somebody else says, "Okay, I'll drink it," and then he goes, he spasms out.
Right.
And then he forces you to drink it.
And you do, and everything's fine. And Alistair does, and everything's fine, which sucks.
I think Alistair had already done it.
Oh, yeah, Alistair was already in.
Yeah, he was already in the club.
Because he's like, sorry, I couldn't tell you. God, I fucking hate Alistair.
Hey, I don't hate him as much as I hate Duncan, but I really hate Duncan.
So anyway, now you get to go on your little on a fight.
Oh yeah.
And what's gonna happen is what is it? Taron Logain's supposed to light this thing.
You light the thing. Taron Logain comes in to flank the enemy,
but you light the thing and he doesn't.
Yeah,
he walks away.
Instead, he just he withholds his vote. That's a very smart move. Like I'm really the most honest person, just person in this system. And the king dies, the army's annihilated.
Duncan dies.
Oh, Duncan dies. So there's some good that comes out of this.
Right. Withholding his vote was really
Yeah,
the
okay.
smart thing to do.
Voting for Nader. Yeah, some good things. There's some silver linings here. No gold, but there's some definite silver. Taron Logain thinks he's going to fight the war his way now. Unfortunately, his way is not working. It quickly becomes evident that the Blight is, in fact, a very serious issue.
There is an archdemon.
Yeah, we're not seeing it,
dragon.
but it's definitely there. A corrupted old god.
Mm-hmm.
That's what those archdemons are. And that's what Darkspawn do. They just dig through the earth. They find an old god sleeping there, and they wake it up, and they fill it full of crack. And it becomes a cracked out archdemon. And it leads to Blight.
We were all kids once.
Yeah.
We were all kids once.
Like, damn kids waking me up, feeding me crack.
Yep.
Hey, it's Christmas. You got to get dad up or he won't be able to open presents.
So anyway, the bottom line is the Grey Wardens had several contracts with several different peoples. We need enforcements. Taron Logain's not going to help us. We need to get people to help us. Let's go fulfill these contracts.
Yeah.
Right?
You find Morrigan again. She rescued, Morrigan's mom, Kreia, voice actor.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. Flemeth. And Morrigan is like, hey, and Morrigan and her have a good mom-daughter relationship where she's like, oh, yeah, my mom turned into an eagle and saved you. And I patched you up, and you're sleeping in my bed, so I'd appreciate it if you got up. Oh, by the way, Morrigan, you're going with them. What? Yeah, you're going with them. We talked about this. Remember the plan. I thought you were joking about that plan because it's really, really messed up, Mom. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a messed up woman. Last time I looked, you had ears. I love Flemeth. Anyway, Morrigan has now been seconded to your team, and Alistair is... And like at first, you're like, God damn it, another goddamn companion I have to give treats to stay on good terms with. And then Alistair immediately starts taking a dislike to Morrigan. And like, oh, okay, she's not all bad.
Right.
I appreciate some good discord on my team, especially when my team is basically my army. And Morrigan's like, okay, so let's go fulfill these contracts and save the world or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, she's not happy about it.
Yeah, and then you find a dog, and she's really not happy. Ooh, a dog, make it go away. And they're like, oh, he's not mine, Jay. Okay, Alistair, that was a good voice read. That was a good line read. I appreciate it. Yeah, because you saved that dog by giving it some a herbal remedy that cures the blight, which would really come in handy. Unfortunately, it only works on dogs, apparently.
So there's an order you could do these in, and that order will greatly affect how well you could do these. Chiefly, do the mage before you go to Alistair's daddy, his adoptive daddy.
Yeah.
Do mage before you go to Alistair's adoptive daddy. But otherwise, you can do them however you want. A few of them are kind of lamer than others. Not as much happens.
Yeah.
Like the Dalish elves. There's not a great to do. I think you go do a fetch quest in the woods for them.
Well, the thing is, the Dalish elves, they're not having a good time. Apparently, they have they're involved in a long-standing war with werewolves, which is kind of admittedly it's interesting. Elves just fighting werewolves, and they've got a lot of people who have been bitten, and they're slowly turning into werewolves. And it's one of those situations like in zombie fiction, only instead of slow-moving zombies, it's fast-moving werewolves. And they're just like in a tent in the middle of town. And it actually, it does come up. They address it like, hey, have you seen my wife? She was in that tent with all the werewolf victims, and now she's gone. We must solve this mystery. Morrigan, bring me my Sherlock Holmes spyglass. Where did you last see this man's wife? Meteors did it. Look, he has committed to giving me $5 if I solve this mystery. No, I don't know how I did this, but when I first did this, I never found her. It's my second run through, it's impossible to miss her. She's just a werewolf on a path that you have to go through unless you just intentionally get lost. And of course I got lost. So you see her and she's like, just kill me. No, and if you say no, she attacks you and you kill her. And Morrigan's like, that was funny. But apparently, if you don't do that, there is actually dialogue. If you cure the werewolves, she doesn't get cured. She just disappears, and you can tell. I never found her, man. I don't know. Quest complete. But really, though, you go into the woods, you fight a bunch of werewolves. Morrigan is really helpful here because if you're a mage, you can combine magic to do cool combo attacks that just clear out everything. Like I don't want to deal with these fucking werewolves, so I'm going to cast a rune to keep them away and pray to God I don't get possessed by a demon while doing it, which isn't actually a problem in gameplay, but
it's a problem in lore.
You fight your way to the spirit of the forest, who explains that the elves did that classic thing where they had a beef with some regular ass humans and cursed them by turning them into powerful, speedy, contagious werewolves. It was a well thought out plan that went swimmingly for all involved. Because now the werewolves have started infecting the elves to try to force the guy who cast the spell to end the spell. And to the werewolf's credit, the problem is not that the spell cannot be undone. The problem is that fucker will not undo the spell, even though it's consuming his people. He is 100% the problem. And I was really pissed the first time I did this because I did not have a fun time in Werewolf Woods. So when I was surrounded by werewolves, I was a squishy mage, and Morrigan was just hanging out like, oh god, I don't have tanks. If these werewolves attack me, is there a way out of this? Wait a minute, what if I got the werewolves to go with me to attack the elves? I can handle elves. They're ranged, they're squishy. That's my speciality. That's my speciality. And then the werewolf like, that's a good plan. And Morgan's like, yeah, let's do that. Let's just kill the elves. Let's fuck the elves over. That'd be great. And Alistair's like, wait, guys, the elves are innocent in this. Just shut the fuck up, Alistair. Morgan is right. Why can't you be more like Morgan? She always likes the things I do when the things I do are dickish. And so instead of an elfish army, you get a werewolf army.
It seems like a win.
Yeah, honestly, the elves are actually really a lot more useful in the final battle, I find. But at the same time, Werewolf Army sounds like a metal album.
Right.
So
this is a theme, and everywhere you go is like, hey, we'll honor that contract, but not until you finish our quest for us, because they needed to fill gameplay in.
Yeah.
So the dwarves are having a little bit of a civil war, a little bit of a vying for the throne.
Yeah. Electoral College wants one guy, popular vote wants another.
Gosh, I wish we knew what to do in that situation.
Yeah, well, one is objectively the correct choice, even if you have personal problems with them. Little guy named Balin, if you're the dwarf noble, it's kind of awkward. We're like, you lying cheat, I choose you. Just take care of my bastard child because I will not be there for him.
I can't remember. Is Balin the objective better choice?
Yeah, under him, the dwarves open their borders, start trading and reforming. The lower class can earn their way into the upper class by joining the military. The Darkspawn are driven back.
That's really cool that
the conservatives stagnate and isolate and die. The same way they always do.
That's really cool that the guy that fucks you over is the
guy that
the
is
good choice.
The Julius Caesar.
Yeah,
he's doing
absolutely.
He's the wrong thing, but the system's kind of fucked altogether.
He's the wrong thing. Yeah. And that's pretty much the whole dwarf is just
it
the
does fill you in on a lot of like the dark history of the world because they had this great underground civilization, and now they're reduced to 2 cities, one of which we're not really allowed to see, which is kind of cool. And apparently they're just like isolated from each other and don't really like each other anymore. But yeah, then you go to you do find Sten, a Kunari, and they kind of have an interesting system. They don't like mages, like at all. Like no one really likes mages. They do some crazy shit to keep their mages under control. And when you see what happens to a Darkspawn or corrupted Kunari, yeah,
Right.
I could see how this would come up. But the Kunari have a classless system, kind of. They're a weird warrior culture. They have advanced technology, cannons apparently, because they don't rely on mages that much. And they're constantly fighting with the remnants of the Telvanni Empire somewhere. And their Telvanni are all mages, so it makes sense that they'd hate each other. Speaking of Telvanni, for mages, there's a bunch of outfits you can get for mages are just ridiculous. Like, you remember the armor on Nier, the first Nier, where it's just armor, like your abdomen is armored, but your nips are showing. You have that for a mage, and it's like you got a feather boa around your shoulders, and walking around like that as a guy, you're either. There's a bandit who walks up and like looks at everyone and like Alistair in a knight's outfit, Sten, steely-eyed gaze, wielding an axe. There's an angry attack dog, and then he sees you. That's the leader. Why do you think I'm the leader? Look, anyone who walks around like that with no visible bruises has got to be the toughest son of a bitch in the round.
Yeah, the Kunari are neat. So you get a little bit when you show up to the mage tower, shit's hit the fan, the Inquisitors are outside, they're ready to kill everyone inside.
Yeah, the thing that happens occasionally with mages happened on an industrial scale.
They mass corruption.
Yeah, apparently the guys inside got this bright idea of making a deal with the demon to get more freedom in society, and it backfired for some reason.
Egalitarianism.
For
When will people
reasons.
learn?
Yeah, this is a fantasy setting, sir.
So you go in and you clear this problem out. You meet Mom.
Yeah.
The character that's pretty much your mom.
When?
You go
What's
and
on your mind?
you clear them out, and you find the guy responsible for this.
Yeah. And he's got like a bunch of other unwilling volunteers.
Yeah.
And hey, do you want to accept this gift? And this gift is not ambiguous. You're watching other people become bold as pustules.
Yeah.
Like, do you walk? All right, you're up next, kid. Okay. You could say no.
Right.
Like he'd kill you, but it seems like a feasible choice. These things don't look like they're having a good time. And Wynn apparently knows this guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he was always an asshole." I mean, I understand his politics. I agree with him after a fashion, but come on, look at him.
Right.
He's a giant fucking demon.
Yep.
He's a hard boss fight too.
Yes, he is.
And now that you have Wynn in your party, she's going to start judging your love life.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a male and you get into an Morrigan will immediately try to jump your bones at least once.
Yes.
For plot reasons.
Mm-hmm.
This is very... I'm okay with awkward BioWare romances as long as it's tastefully done. As long as the models are more or less orbiting each other like an awkward planet and moon arrangement.
God, they're always so weird, though. I don't know why they have to do them. But, yeah.
I love that they actually remark on that. Like, Liliana, the crazy church lady, she will say, "You were with Morrigan last night." What? No, I wasn't. I heard you. No, that was wild animals. Okay.
Yeah, she comes back and Inquisition.
And she does. And she's a very cool character in Inquisition, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, she and Liliana is also a romanceable option. In fact, when Morrigan breaks it off with you, like, look, I'm not good for you. Win is right, and then you can go with Liliana if you want, or you can just stick with Morrigan, which is interesting either way. Not the romance scenes are terrible, but the character relations are kind of interesting, especially if you're a mage and kind of dealing with Morrigan's like, oh, or do you like the freedom you have now? Like, I guess, or actually, I kind of miss things. Like, one of the things you can say is, what do you remember about your mother? I remember I miss her. And then like, oh, you okay, Morrigan? Yeah. I don't have mommy issues. Oh, in the book, in Mage's Tower, you find Flemeth's tome. And Morrigan is going to try to use that to break free of her mom. Unfortunately, Flemeth is a very tough boss fight, and even if you kill her, she's not dead.
Right.
Just canonically. So you could just skip this and say, Morrigan, I did it. I mean, it was a tough fight. It was a real tough fight. She brought out that cane. I thought it was toast. Really? The dragon used a cane? She can turn into a dragon? Yes, the dragon brought out a cane. It was the size of a tree, an oak tree. Alistair was there. He'll back me up on this.
Won't you, Alistair?
Yeah, Alistair. If you want any more cake, you will.
But basically, you get all these contracts to agree to come back.
Yeah, you either get the mages on your side by sparing them, or I guess the Templars.
Right.
Don't.
Yeah, the Templars, not Inquisitors. Templars.
Yeah, Templars.
And then there's a demon possession at Alistair's stepdaddy's house. If you do the mages before, there's a prisoner that knows blood magic that will be here.
Yeah.
And there's a dream expert or something from the mages. I know if you do the mages tower first, there's a guy you could call, and you could save everyone. Otherwise, you have to kill someone to bring the kid back, or you could let the kid die.
Yeah.
But if you want the good ending, you got to save everyone. And then it's actually kind of a. Everyone always says they like this. It always just feels forced, like the possessed kid. Like it's kind of a weird thing. Alistair being like, "Oh, I'm coming back home," but it's like clearly isn't his home. Like it's kind of weird.
I do like that the kid was a mage, but they were hiding it.
Yeah,
which is a good plot
cool.
point.
That is cool.
And this is why you don't hide that. They need training.
Right. Because they are very susceptible to the warp. I mean,
the
Dreamland.
Warp.
And then so you've got all your contracts.
And then you go to the capital city.
Uh-huh.
I cannot remember his name.
But it's where Terran Logain is.
Terran Logain.
And Logain is like, hey, we're going to hold out against these Darkspawn.
We're going to call a great council, because of course we are. And, of course, during this council, you get into some crazy shenanigans, and you get kidnapped because you're investigating one of those, I think that asshole lord who fucks you over in the nobles. His little fortress.
Yeah.
You get information on him to use in the Great Council, but then you get captured, and you have to choose who is the best person to infiltrate a prison incognito. Obviously, you pick the dog. The dog he speaks a dozen languages. He knows every local custom. He's got friends from here to Timbuktu. With any luck, he's killed the archdemon already. Everything I'm saying. Actually, in most of my cases, I make Liliana and Morrigan work together.
The dog is such a good touch, though. I think next time I'm going to send the dog.
Yeah, I chose him as my champion. I don't remember. I think the game told me I couldn't do that. Like, are you going to face me, coward, or have you a champion? Dog. You're leaving the fate of the country of for Ferelden. You're leaving the fate of Ferelden to the dog. Yes, he's not mangy. Anyway, you defeat Logain, and this is the decision point, because Logain killed the king, and Alistair wants revenge. But you can tell Alistair, no, we're going to keep this other... Okay, you know how Duncan was the only Grey Warden, and Grey Wardens are important for some reason? He didn't tell us, though.
Mm-hmm.
There's this veteran Grey Warden who's saying it would be very good to have another Grey Warden. He's saying we can make Loghain one. I think we should listen to the veteran Grey Warden. Alistair, no. He says no. We have to kill Loghain. If you do not kill Loghain, he will leave the party. Well, don't threaten me with a good time now, Alistair. So he leaves in a huff, and Loghain becomes a part of your party.
And I like Loghain so much better.
Yeah, he's just you're gonna redeem yourself, and I hope you like cake that was in my dog's mouth because he keeps finding it, and I need to get your sports up. But then the guy breaks it down. Okay, so the reason Grey Wardens have to be the one to kill the Archdemon is because when the Archdemon dies, it will just possess another Darkspawn, and it will become an Archdemon again. You can't kill it permanently as long as that happens. But if a Grey Warden kills it, someone with the Darkspawn taint in them, their soul will clash with your soul, and the reaction will kill both of you. Oh, well, that's nice. Duncan from the grave again. Chaos dunk right onto my balls. Anyway, so Loghain and you are like, man, that really sucks. Well, it'll be me, man. I can do it. I need to redeem myself anyway. But then Morgan shows up. There's another option. If you give me a baby... What, like from the nursery? No, give me a baby. Wink, wink. Fuck it. Just sent Alistair away. That would have been hilarious. I love playing a female character during this because it's like you and Morgan like, okay, we're going to have to corner one of these guys and convince him in a very not creepy way that the best possible solution is to impregnate you with an old god. It is you, right? Look, I'm not... I'm just saying it was your idea. And yeah, if we're going to do... Like, you're the most qualified person here, Morgan. I think we can agree on that. And like, it's so telegraphed as an objectively bad idea. Like the Dark Witch giving her access to the soul of an old god in the form of a child.
So I don't get how getting her pregnant makes... I never got
that. If a Grey Warden impregnates her, the baby will have the Darkspawn taint, and if Morgan goes with her ritual, she can make it so the baby will be the target of the Archdemon.
So okay,
and the Archdemon's the Darkspawn taint of the Archdemon will be destroyed, and instead of the baby developing a soul of its own, it would get the god's soul, the old god's soul, pure. And that's definitely something you want in Morgan's hand.
No, absolutely.
I have absolute faith in her.
She's done nothing but show good intent through the whole game.
I mean, she has shown a great deal throughout the game.
Very, very warm eyes.
Yes.
Very friendly.
Very kind.
Very kind.
She likes mirrors. That says something about you if you like to look at yourself in a mirror.
Absolutely.
You got nothing to hide.
So,
I mean, there's not a whole lot of places she can hide things, admittedly.
So let's say you tell Morgan that her idea is insane.
She leaves.
She leaves. Because that's what she's wanted the whole time.
But if you did a one-night stand at the beginning of the game, she still gets what she wants.
Right. So basically what we're saying is what Dragon Age is trying to tell you, until you're married, it's a sin.
Yeah.
That's what Dragon Age is trying to tell you.
Also, you may have produced it. You may now have to pay child support for an old god.
And let me tell you what, brother.
Oh.
They'll run that bill up. You know what I'm saying?
That thing's going to grad school. It's going places.
So anyway, you tell Morgan no, or at least how you typically tell Morgan no.
I make Alistair do it. even if I have even if I decided on a whim that I wanted to see the character models do the teleportation thing to see if they would glitch, which occasionally they do.
Mm-hmm.
But I still make Alistair do it, just for because I was a child at the time, 10 years ago.
So anyway, whether or not Morgan is carrying your baby, Alistair's baby,
Logain's baby,
whether or not you still march off to fight the
the archdemon, and the blight has finally reached Ferelden. You fight off the Darkspawn, and that cool veteran Grey Warden who has told you all this helpful information. He just says, "It'll be me." Grey Wardens don't live a whole long time. Once you get middle age, Darkspawn taint starts to get in you. You start hearing Rush Limbaugh in your head, and you become just worthless as a citizen. So I'm gonna it'll be me. This will be my last send out, and he does some cool things. The dragon flies by, he jumps on it, tears its wing, which forces it to land. Unfortunately, he falls and splats. And the whole time, like if you have not done the Morgan backup baby plot, fuck.
Right.
Okay, Logan, get in there. I'm not dying for Duncan's war. Dying for Duncan's oil profits.
So,
Duncan.
So you charge the archdemon, the dragon.
You follow it to the top of a tower. Dragons love towers. I like towers.
I
feel like me and the archdemon would really get along.
I would live in a tower.
I'd hang out with a dragon.
Would you put your bedroom on the top, or like? In the middle?
I don't know. If it was in the middle, maybe.
Would you? I kind of want the top to be like a sitting room.
Okay.
Like with glass all around.
Yeah.
And like when you entertain guests.
Yeah.
You're all eating up there. The dining room. Oh my god, the dining room.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Oh my god, I want to go to the Space Needle.
I do.
I think that'd be awesome.
I mean, that's in
Do they still
Seattle.
have a restaurant in the Space Needle?
I don't know. I don't know. Of course, my luck, I'd get there, and then like the big one would hit, and it would fall. I don't know how. Is the Space Needle spec'd for a seismic event over 7.0?
You know what?
It should be.
Some things.
Like some things are just built to
Some
fall.
better. Some questions are better left unasked.
I mean, if only the Soviet Union was still around to build things like that, because quantity has a quality all its own. And look, some people will say that a 3 redundant I-bars is enough, but generally you want 8. He's good bridge.
He's good.
He's good bridge. It's solid cube of steel. Good bridge for driving, not so much for water flow.
So anyway, you rush the dragon, and you tell it that you don't want to listen to Rush Limbaugh anymore.
Yeah.
You let this voice out of your head.
I went to college and I made new friends who told me I didn't need you. Get in here, werewolves. We support you, friend. Unfortunately, werewolves just cannot, because this dragon keeps flying. This is why the elves are actually useful, because they're archers and they can shoot it. But the wolves are cooler. Mm-hmm. And having the wolf in your party as a representative is fun, because he's just sitting there watching a goose roast. And it never gets done. I don't know if that werewolf ever gets his goose. Like Sten is just hanging out next to a werewolf, and Wynn is there judging your sex life, and Zevran, we forgot about him.
Oh yeah, Zevran.
He tries to kill you, and then he's like, "Hey." Well,
then he's sexually attracted to you.
You want to hang out?
And he joins.
Get some stuff going.
So anyway, you kill the dragon.
Yeah, you kill the dragon, and you either sacrifice yourself, or if backup baby is in effect, you go to the end game where everyone is celebrating you, and everyone's like, if you do backup baby strategy, Logain will like, I guess that guy was full of shit. Yeah. So maybe I'm just that cool. I like that demon soul went in me, and it said, "Hey, you better fucking get out." And it left.
Guess I was just a little too red, white, and blue for that demon soul.
Yep. And then the ending slide, people say they see Morrigan, and she's pregnant. Like, okay, this could have no possible bad repercussions. No repercussions. And congratulations, there are, in fact, no bad repercussions.
Nope, it's never brought up again.
It is a minor note in Inquisition. And I like Inquisition. And I like Morgan showing up there. It's just, like, hey, had the baby. Oh, any complications? No, actually. Surprising. I mean, old God, you'd think there'd be complications. And apparently you were hanging out in a mirror world at the time. You just have great... I mean...
Are you the same character in Inquisition?
No.
Okay.
It's a completely separate character. But she will talk about, like, the Grey Warden in a certain way. I can't remember. But then Flemeth shows up like, what's up, bitches? Wait a minute, you're that mythical figure? You know it.
So in Inquisition, does it matter what choices you made? Or
Not really.
Is it just canonical that Morgan had the baby?
It's just, I guess it's, I don't think, no, it's not canonical, but she always shows up. Like, having the baby is a plus, but she can live without it.
But that's something, it
seems like
your choice affects.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, hey, there's an old god running around now, little patter of old god feet. By the way, and regardless of what you did, her mom is still around, and she's a god, and she's important, but we don't have another Dragon Age, so we don't know how important.
Right.
She also kind of sacrifices herself and feeds into another elvish god who is cool. I just don't think anything really comes of that.
They're really bad about that. They're so bad about that.
Yeah, it's like, at the same time, Mass Effect 3 happens, so you gotta wonder what could have happened. Tell me another story about the Warden. Well, then, he coerced his friend and comrade into a one-night stand with a witch.
So,
like a hero.
So, that's Dragon Age. I highly suggest you play Dragon Age.
It's one of those games.
It's very fun.
Where you play. It's a game it's a game that you play.
Anyway,
is it really midnight? Yeah. Oh, it's 1:02.
It's 1 o'clock.
AM.
Yeah.
Do you know where your children are?
Make sure they're not around Morgan.
Yeah. She's desperate for that demon baby.
So, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and
hit the bell.
And
bell.
That's that.
That is
Happy New Year.
As they say,
Happy New Year.
May it be the happiest of years new to you.
Ooh.